cross back to London. We can speak to France 24's Benedict Pavio, who's in front of Buckingham Palace. Benedict, just tell us what kind of a mood there is. I'm assuming people are stunned at this news, which was not entirely unexpected, but shocking nevertheless for many people.
Perfectly summarised, absolutely. Shocking, stunned and yet expected, but not necessarily, well, not expected today. I have just been to the gates through thousands of people that you can probably barely see in the dark behind me. And the reason I particularly went into the crowd was to understand why there's regular now spontaneous applause. I wasn't able to ascertain. I'll have to continue my investigation. But clearly an affection that is bringing people here, an admiration for Queen Elizabeth II, the UK's longest reigning monarch, as we greet King Charles III here. But of course, despite the really bad weather that we've had intermittently today, I know it's a cliche and everybody thinks it rains all the time here in the United Kingdom. Actually, there's a drought in most of the country. There's a hosepipe ban. You wouldn't think it, because the heavens have really opened up on what is an extremely sad and momentous day for the United Kingdom, long prepared for, nevertheless profoundly shocking, that we learnt just about 2 hours ago that Queen Elizabeth II had died peacefully at Balmoral with her family around her.
Yeah, and as you say, the King, Charles III, as he's going to be known, that's been confirmed this evening, he's had a whole lifetime to prepare for this job as he becomes, I think, if I'm not wrong in saying, at the age of 72, the oldest monarch in British history to accede the throne.
He has waited a very long time, almost a lifetime. His reign will be short. It's highly likely that his son, Prince William's reign will be much longer. He's been preparing for this. At times, some have criticised him, it has to be said, even today, because he has sometimes lobbied ministers through letters, whether it's about architecture, about planning, town planning, about organic farming, about many different issues. But he knows that as he ascends the throne, he has ascended the throne. We don't know when the coronation will be. It could be many months to come. That he will have a duty like his mother had before him, and that she really embodied so very well, of duty, and a duty really of impartiality. But what incredible experience she had as she appointed her 15th Prime Minister, Liz Truss, just on Tuesday, as she said goodbye to the 14th Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. A Prime Minister, Liz Truss, who became Conservative leader on Monday, Prime Minister on Tuesday at lunchtime, did her first Prime Minister's questions yesterday, Wednesday, and who was announcing her bold economic plan, announcing some financial support for both British households and also companies throughout the land that are sorely hurting because the soaring gas and electricity prices, as we have a 10.1% inflation here in the United Kingdom, partly, of course, that rise in food and fuel prices because of the war in Ukraine. So a very busy world, but something that didn't change and embodied that sense of sacrifice and duty, which she took so very seriously throughout her life, was Queen Elizabeth's duty and devotion to her role. And indeed, only 48 hours before her death, there she was in Balmoral doing that ceremony of kissing of hands. It's not literal, but inviting the new Prime Minister to form a government. And Liz Truss found herself this evening making that statement 48 hours after her first address to the nation as Prime Minister, actually announcing, confirming indeed the death of the Queen, the end of the Elizabethan era, as she said, and also she said what a terrible loss it was, but what a great legacy the Queen was leaving. And that indeed is a legacy that many will now pore over the coming days. As for the preparations, they now kick in to full force as the British and international media are here outside Buckingham Palace, the Queen's London residence, and we will have every day will be a day of duty for King Charles. Charles III, and he will return, I understand, to London tomorrow, Friday. Tonight he's staying up in Balmoral with his wife, Camilla, the Queen Consort.
We have, and thank you very much indeed for bringing us all the very latest from outside Buckingham Palace in the pouring rain on this sad day. France 24's Benedict Pavio